Hey there friends, I hope everyone is doing well. It is such a beautiful day here today that I decided that I would sit outside and do this video for you guys real quick. This is part 3 of our video series that we are doing on pregnancy, birth, and postpartum recovery with chronic pain, or at least my experience with it. So today's video, video 3, is going to be the postpartum recovery after the birth of my first daughter. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to call the postpartum period the first 12 months after giving birth, because let's be honest, there's still a lot that is very different and that is changing after that first 6 weeks from giving birth, and you really don't get back to really a status quo with your body per se until at least that first year. So yeah, we'll just jump in and get started. So in the more immediate postpartum period, we'll say that first 6 weeks, I was sore for quite some time from the stitches from my tearing, especially since I couldn't do any ice or anything. However, all of that did heal up well for me. And I didn't have any lasting effects from that. I also had a minor uterine infection where I would start and stop bleeding after the first 6 weeks, but that also resolved without any major complications. And let's see, throughout the duration of that first year with my oldest daughter, especially the first 8 to 10 months, I had a very difficult time adjusting emotionally. My daughter cried a lot and did not sleep at all and was very colicky. So it just felt like she was crying all the time, and so that was really tough on me emotionally. And then looking back, I realized now that I was likely struggling with mild postpartum depression, but I didn't recognize it at the time and just kind of felt like I was surviving, trying to get day to day, some days minute to minute. And so yeah, I didn't realize what was going on to treat it in the most effective manner. And my husband knew that there was something going on, but he wasn't sure what it was or how to help me at that point. From all of the sleep deprivation with my daughter, I ended up having a lot of ocular disturbances from my complex migraines, because one of the major triggers for me is sleep deprivation. And then something that I realized after the fact that I kind of struggled with, and I would like to share with you guys, because I had no idea this was a thing until like a year after struggling with all of this. I had a condition called dysphoric milk ejection reflex, or DMER, I think is the acronym. And so basically it's a physiological response to your milk letdown that can cause heightened anxiety and sadness while you're nursing, and it is directly linked to your milk letdown. And so I would have these waves of just like despair and anxiety as my milk was letting down, and then after a minute or two it would kind of pass. And I didn't even know what to search for to figure out what that was, and so I just kind of thought it went along with being tired and feeling low all the time. But that is a thing. So if you are struggling with that, you are not losing your mind. It is an actual condition. Let's see. What else? My oldest daughter had a lot of food sensitivities when she was nursing, so that meant that I ended up cutting out a lot of foods in my diet to try and help all of her stomach issues and help her be able to sleep a little bit better. For the most part during the first half, I guess I would say, of my postpartum recovery, I didn't have very much pain from my CRPS. It was largely in remission. The pain began increasing around 6 months on as I was starting to reduce the amount that I was nursing, and it came back more dramatically after I had weaned, but it was still muted more so than what it was before I had been pregnant at all. So yeah, and because all of that sounds like a major downer and like my postpartum recovery was awful, which yes, it was very difficult, but there was also good stuff too. I also wanted to share a few things that helped me as I was trying to work through the fog and all of the struggles that we were having. So movement and fresh air is a big thing, and it was something that honestly I needed help doing, a push to do, because it would be I would feel so awful, but I wouldn't know what to do, so I wouldn't do anything. So I was very appreciative of my husband and his support and his help in doing this, by encouraging me to get outside and get fresh air. And then with movement, a program that was suggested to me that was very helpful for me is called Mama Strong, and it is an online subscription of a workout program that is designed specifically for moms, and they have different programs for pregnancy, immediate postpartum recovery, later on after you've kind of settled into being a mom and everything, but they're all short, like 15 minutes or less, so it's easy to get it in your day and get your body moving and work on different muscle groups that are essential to helping you not have as much pain and feel functional. And it's a very body positive program, and very function based. So if you are looking for anything, I would definitely suggest that one. Having someone to call when I was having really, really bad days was helpful. Simplifying our life, so finding routines and shortcuts that I could do around the house to get the things done that needed to be done, that wouldn't take a lot of mental space in my head and didn't take a lot of time. Something that might make a lot of you cringe a lot is, the first example I can think of is I quit folding our laundry. I simplified the amount that we had, cut down a lot of different things so everything would fit in our drawers without folding it. So that way I could just sort stuff out after I had washed it and put it away, and I didn't have to take the time to do that. And I know that certainly wouldn't work for everyone, but that was just an example of something that helped me get through the postpartum period. Praying was another thing that helped me get through the postpartum recovery period. What was really helpful for me was to actually write down the prayers, and then say it out loud after that, because I just kind of felt so jumbled in my head that if I started to pray, like I couldn't even think what I wanted to say at that point, versus if I took the time to kind of write it out and everything. So it was therapeutic for me to get what was in my head out and then kind of have some coherent thoughts. Let's see. And then something else was honestly just time. So it was rough, and There's a lot of different developmental things with babies that can be really tough. But things are always changing in that postpartum period, both with your baby and with you. And so I just had to remind myself of that and be reminded of that often, that even though it felt like forever, it wasn't going to be forever. So yeah, that I guess sums up my first experience with postpartum recovery with my oldest daughter. So let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I would love to hear about your postpartum recoveries, if there's anything similar to what I've experienced or anything different as well, and things that helped you through your postpartum recovery. So leave a comment below, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.